Oh, welcome back to the channel, everyone. I'm your man, Doodleman149, and today I'm coming at you all with a surprise video topic. I know that I mentioned in my Heavy Pistols Gun Workshop video that the end of the series had finally arrived for Modern Warfare. Well, wouldn't you know it, Crackdivision finally released the RAAL LMG for Modern Warfare. The fact that it's been sitting in the game code for a while now means that for some reason they were just sitting on this weapon to be quietly released like the CX-9. And like the CX-9 and the Psychov, delaying the weapon certainly wasn't for balance testing, but I'll get into that shortly. The first thing you need to note is that in order to unlock this weapon, you need to get 5 kills with an LMG using a Scout Optic in 7 different matches. Might I recommend a slightly modified version of any of my LMG builds? With Freaky Haircut, I tested that the matches do not need to be completed in order to progress in this challenge. We were able to get 5 LMG kills in a match, back out, and the progress would be there. Now, considering how ridiculously long it takes to find a core domination match anymore, you'll end up playing the lobby game for most of the time, as you'll definitely spend more time looking for a match and loading than you will actually fighting to unlock this weapon. However, once you do unlock it, you'll immediately notice how this weapon may be a tiny bit unbalanced. Now let's get into the base stats here for this new LMG. I know I typically don't do this, but I figured why the hell not. It's my last gun workshop video and I might as well practice for my upcoming Battlefield 2042 videos. From what I tested, the RAAL has just shy of 600 round per minute fire rate. This weapon also appears to have the slowest base movement speed and possibly the slowest base ADS speed of any weapon in the entire game, meaning that most recoil mitigating attachments will have you moving and aiming disgustingly slow. In order to compensate for this, the weapon boasts the most powerful LMG rounds in the entire game, firing 338 Lapua rounds. All this put together, this weapon appears to be based off the LMG. That will put the weight of this base weapon at an extremely hefty 36 pounds, so no wonder this makes your operator drag his feet. This thing is absurdly heavy and should not be used as a rushing weapon, no matter how you kit it. Even when I was testing the weapon out in custom games, the fastest build for the RAAL is still noticeably slower than most other weapons. Speaking of those custom games, I found out the damage numbers for this LMG that essentially fires sniper bullets. To the upper torso, this weapon is a 2-shot kill. Everywhere else, excluding the head, this weapon is a 3-shot kill. When it comes to headshots, the damage seemed to be slightly higher than that of an upper torso shot, but it still required 2 shots to kill. Mixing in just one upper torso or headshot will also give you that 2-shot kill, so this weapon is very forgiving. In TTK terms, this weapon is ridiculous for standard multiplayer. A 3-shot kill is going to have a 208 millisecond time to kill, and the 2-shot is just going to have 108 milliseconds, basically instantaneous. This weapon is absurdly powerful. Where the Psychov and CX-9 have higher fire rates and lower damage, the RAAL is on the opposite end of the spectrum. Now that we've gotten all that done and researched, let's get into what you came here for, the best close and long range builds for this weapon. When it comes to the fastest RAAL I could think of, I developed the sarcastically named Lightspeed Build. This build starts off with the tac laser for boosted ADS speed and stability. The folded stock is next for boosted mobility overall at the cost of recoil control and stability. Sleight of hand makes our fairly slow reloads a tad bit better. 50-round belts increase our overall mobility even more while also boosting reload speed, all while cutting our ammo reserves in half. And lastly, we use the PMC foregrip for boosted recoil control while losing some ADS speed. I'll be honest, the Lightspeed is not my first choice when it comes to a faster LMG build. It's very strong, yes, but even in this very fast RAAL build, it's still very slow. The tac laser does the best in boosting this weapon's ADS speed, and the folded stock doubles down on this as well. The increased recoil from the folded stock is next to unnoticeable. This weapon's recoil isn't crazy hard to control in the first place. Speaking of that recoil, the PMC grip feels like a great option in my opinion, as it's more of an operator foregrip. It helps with recoil a good bit without slowing our legs down. I was curious to see if the final ammo attachment was going to be a conversion kit, but instead I just got the 50-round belt mags. Now this attachment is great for a speed build as you still have plenty of ammo while boosting our movement, ADS, and reload speed. However, this is a fairly uninspired attachment and I'm a little bummed that this weapon doesn't have fun ammo options like the Psychov and the CX-9 have. The irons on the RAAL are really good in my opinion. They're clear and pretty precise. Also, while this weapon offers a single shot mode, it's very much not worth using as the visual kick is quite great. The Lightspeed is a good option for standard multiplayer. It's really good for ground war surprisingly since it still retains its solid range and power while being more mobile. For Warzone, this build is mediocre since it lacks a suppressor, and this weapon really shouldn't be used up close anyway given how long it takes to ADS. Now, if you're looking for one of the most painfully slow LMGs in the game that boasts great power and accuracy, then look no further than the Sloth. This RAAL build starts off with the tactical suppressor for a no-frills suppression option. The 32-inch RAAL linebreaker barrel boosts our damage range and recoil control while costing us a decent bit of mobility. The integral hybrid sight allows for a variety of visual engagement ranges. The 150 round belt magazines increase our ammo capacity by 50% and cost us more mobility. And lastly, we have the Snatch Grip. The FSS Oblique Grip. That boosts ADS speed and recoil control while taking away some movement speed. There's a very good reason that the Sloth is named as such. Every attachment aside from the Oblique Foregrip reduces ADS speed. The long barrel, the extended belt mags, and the Oblique Grip all reduce our movement speed on what was already the slowest LMG in the game. However, as a trade-off for all this slowness, you end up having a very accurate, long-range, suppressed LMG that is really good in a number of situations. The boosted range and recoil control makes this strong LMG very accurate as well. I really like the integral hybrid sight for LMGs as it offers an up-close zoom for emergency close-quarters fighting, and the boosted zoom allows for more precise range targeting. I must stress, however, this build is not for pushing. It is slow, beyond slow. It is definitely a defensive weapon for holding an objective, or as a support weapon for a squad push in Warzone. The Sloth is honestly pretty bad in core domination for how I play. It works well in ground war, and it was surprisingly very effective when I used it in plunder. So there's my two builds for the newest and final weapon given to us in Modern Warfare. So what are my thoughts on the RAAL? Well, I don't really like it all that much. I know it's part of the slower firing, harder hitting gang, but I feel it's just way too slow. The very quick kills are definitely nice to get, but they're also infuriating to go up against. I feel this weapon is going to need a slight rework, but I'm not really sure of where to nerf it in order to make it less effective without destroying its niche. A few side notes. The weapon has a built-in bipod that you can see here. It doesn't do anything, and it really makes me wonder why it's included in the weapon model at all if it wasn't going to be utilized. I think the overall design of the weapon is fairly boring as well. The blueprint they try and sell people who don't want to unlock the gun is honestly the lowest effort I'd seen from Crack Division. The base gun is tan, so how about we just make it slightly darker tan and see if that sells? I have no doubts they made plenty of money from people who have nothing else to spend their money on, but I highly recommend avoiding that blueprint. Now, is the challenge to unlock this hard? No, especially since you don't have to complete matches in order to get challenge progress. However, even with the ease of the challenge, I don't really think the reward was worth the minimal effort. I was hoping this weapon would have a 556 conversion with more ammo, a faster fire rate, and lower damage, something interesting. Something to make this gun unique, because as this sits, this weapon is basically just the PKM, but worse. If there was a ground loot battle that was either the RAAL or any other LMG, I'd probably pick up any other LMG. So with those negative thoughts out of the way, what do you all think of this weapon? Is this the first time you've heard of it because Crack Division couldn't be bothered to announce a weapon yet again? Let me know in the comments below. I wish this gun workshop was more positive, but I don't really care for this, so I won't lie to you. This has been your honest host, Doodleman149, in my actual last gun workshop video for Modern Warfare, and I wish you all the best, and I will see you later.